Morning, everybody.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin in the region says the United States stands by Israel in a new development. Another Navy aircraft carrier, the USS Dwight Eisenhower, has been deployed to the Mediterranean. Secretary of State Antony Blinken meeting with Saudi's Crown Prince earlier today, discussing the Hamas hostage situation.
More than 1,300 innocent lives lost in Israel, including at least 27 Americans. Children and grandparents alike kidnapped, held hostage by Hamas.
Now, as for President Biden, he was at the annual Human Rights Campaign dinner in Washington, D.C. last night, talking about the week of war.
The humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Innocent Palestinian families, in the vast majority, have nothing to do with Hamas. They're being used as human shields.
Now, the conflict in Israel, the dominant subject at the first in-the-nation leadership summit in Nashua, New Hampshire Friday, GOP presidential hopefuls like North Dakota Governor Republican Doug Burgum sharing his view and blasting the Biden administration's current foreign policy.
Policies of this administration are actually empowering foreign dictators. They're empowering other countries to take advantage of the vacuum that's created when we withdraw from Afghanistan, when we allow all of Western Europe to become hooked on Russia's energy.
This is USA News.
Omaha Steaks is rewriting the book on burgers with an all-new handmade texture for the juiciest home-style burgers you've ever tasted. Their pure ground burgers are made from single cuts of real aged Omaha steaks. These are truly steaks on a bun. Filet mignon, ribeye, New York strip, sirloin, and even brisket burgers. Now is the
Steaks
time
on a
to
bun.
experience the exclusive Burger Perfection Flight for just $79.99. Go to omahasteaks.com and use promo code TREAT at checkout to get an extra $20 off your order, plus free shipping. You'll get 4 of each pure ground burger, so you can sample all the steak on a bun greatness. These burgers are crafted.
Last week's attack by Hamas that killed more than 1,300 Israelis and seized scores of hostages. Some 1,500 Hamas militants have been killed in the fighting. Authorities in Gaza say the siege by Israel has taken over 2,200 lives, half of them children and women.
That's USA's Skip Kelly. Reuters reporting one of its video journalists killed in the conflict, 6 other journalists hurt in southern Lebanon when the group hit by missiles. 2 of the 3 big Detroit automakers laying off more workers due to the ongoing United Auto Workers strike. Stellantis will temporarily lay off about 1,200 employees as the strike rolls on now for a month. 34,000 UAW workers looking for a new contract and more money. In other news, the IRS looking to collect money that you may owe the agency. Here's USA's John Schaefer.
Americans owe a record-breaking $688 billion in unpaid taxes from their 2021 returns, according to the IRS. To prevent a recurrence, the IRS plans to increase audits and enforcement measures.
And I'm Laura Winters, USA News.
Do you have a story to tell? Bring your story to life with audiobooks. Great stories deserve great storytelling. Audiobook Network provides professional voice actors and full production services for every author's manuscript. From narration, production, and editing to distribution, promotion, and sales, Audiobook Network handles everything. If you have a print book, ebook, or even a manuscript, call Audiobook Network now and get our free audiobook guide. 800-734-1229. 800-734-1229.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and do not express the views of WVBF ownership or Hometown Talk Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests. Hey, what's happening? I mean, what's happening in Middleboro?
And good morning and welcome to Middleboro in Review. I'm Joey Driscoll. I'm joined by Don in his amazing red shirt today, matching the color mic that he's on. So that's a cool thing. That's cool.
That was a plan from the beginning.
Was that the plan?
That was my diabolical plan from the last week.
Right. Today is October 15th, 2023. It is the middle of October already.
Well,
Wow.
You got your Taunton Tiger shirt on.
I do. I have the Taunton Tiger shirt on today, yes.
There you go.
Yes, people on the Facebook can see it. And, yeah. Speaking of the Facebook, if you want to check out the Facebook, along with listening to, if you're listening on the radio, Middleboro in Review is a great way to... Middleboro in Review on Facebook is another great way to listen to us as well. If maybe you're out of the range of the radio and you want to listen to the show on Facebook, Middleboro in Review, great way to listen. Tune in, another great way to listen as well. And on the YouTube channel, Middleboro in Review as well, where all the shows will end up as well. I've got a lot of shows on there already. Most of them are on there already. So, if you want to check out any old show, you can go to the YouTube channel, Middleboro in Review, or you can go to Facebook, again, Middleboro in Review on Facebook. You check out that, any of the older shows on the Facebook as well. So, that's out of the way. I'm Joey Driscoll. I'm joined by Don once again today. We have a lot to talk about today. We've got a lot of events going on in Middleboro for the month of October. A very busy month for Middleboro and surrounding towns. But Middleboro has a lot of events, and I mean a lot of events going on for the next couple of weeks. I want to mention try to mention all of them today. Talk about special town meeting as well today. What to expect from that, and much more today as well. Today is Robert Trout's birthday as well. The famous American radio broadcaster. I'm going to talk a little bit about him as well on today's show. And much more. And we have open phone lines. 508-822-1106. 508-822-1106 is the number to call if you want to talk with us this morning. I want to start with the weather. With the weather, it is currently in Taunton 50 degrees and sunny skies today. The sun hasn't come up yet, but sunny skies today. 62 degrees. A low of 46 this evening. Tomorrow, 60 degrees, mostly sunny skies, and a low of 43. Kind of, are we at that point where we're kind of on first frost watch?
Yeah.
With the low 40s that we're getting at night?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it could happen anytime. So if anyone's getting plants or any kind of delicates outside, just
I keep an eye on it.
Yeah, obviously the weather people are pretty accurate when it comes to that. But yeah, it's soon. It'll be soon. Which is a lot of times, first frost kills the mosquitoes, kills all the ticks.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't venture in the woods because they're worried about Lyme disease and get bit by mosquitoes and stuff. So after a good first frost, you can go into areas you normally wouldn't go into during like the summer months because you're worried about, like I said, ticks and Lyme disease, and Lyme disease is pretty nasty. So you get the nice weather, so you get your first frost and get in there and get your your chores done.
Yep, and another big thing to watch out for, especially this time of month, is deer. This time of the year is the deer out there. I'm going to talk a little bit about later on today. There has been an uptick on deer being hit by vehicles.
Yeah, deer strikes. Yeah,
Deer strikes.
I hit a deer last November, like 2 doors from home, right on Route 105 on Thompson Street.
Yeah.
Came out of nowhere. And I've had a lot of close calls, and I've been driving them, a long time, and I've had a lot of close calls. But this time, and the deer wasn't killed. The deer ran in the woods, but $5,000 of damage on my truck. So
Yeah.
I mean, and I was able to drive the truck, and it didn't deploy the airbag, and it's still $5,000 of damage. So
Yeah.
I mean, it just goes to show. Well, I know people who live in other parts of the country, mountain areas, and they try not to even drive at night because of the deer, if they can help it. I mean, it's obviously we all drive at night around here. It's just how it is. But it's imagine hitting a deer and then having an accident. And
Yeah.
You're incapacitated to get to your cell phone, and who knows when people those mountain roads up there. Somewhere, in the mountains or wherever. So it's just always be vigilant. But like I said, I've been driving a lot of years, and I feel I'm a real careful driver. I drive CDL. I have a perfect driving record, and that deer came out of the woods, came out of nowhere, and that's just how it is. So, especially Route 105 down that way. So that's known for deer.
All right, Middleboro with their weather now. In Middleboro, 52 degrees currently, a high of 62 today, a low of 45. 61 tomorrow with a low of 43. Mostly sunny skies. Mostly sunny skies throughout the week. It's going to be a pretty nice week. Driscoll, North Dakota, 34 degrees. I'm pretty sure, have already had their first frost. 31 tonight. Low of that's the low, 31 tonight. A high of 56 today. So not that warm. It will get back into the 70s briefly before dropping right back down into the low 60s, upper 50s. It's Tuesday for Driscoll, North Dakota is the pick of the week. 72 degrees, mostly sunny skies on that day. Very nice day in Driscoll, North Dakota. Get out there, and if you're living in Driscoll, North Dakota, in that area, if you're listening to us, get out and enjoy the weather the next couple of days. Don't know how many more nice days you're going to get in Driscoll, North Dakota, but again, 34 degrees right now in Driscoll, North Dakota. Driscoll, Texas, a high of 60. That's actually current temperature of 60. That's a far cry from a couple of weeks ago when it was 100 degrees for several weeks on end. But a high of 81 today. Sunny skies, 54 for the low. 77 tomorrow. Clear skies again. Clear skies all week. A beautiful, beautiful week in Driscoll, Texas. Might even get into the 90s next weekend. A beautiful late October in Driscoll, Texas. We're going to do our Today in Histories a tad bit early today, just so we're not rushing to do them at the end of the show today. So we have a couple of Today in Histories, and we have a couple of birthdays. No passings today. But we have 3 Today in Histories. The first one, 1582. The adoption of the Gregorian calendar begins, eventually leading to near universal adoption. 1989, on this day, October 15th, Wayne Gretzky becomes the all-time leading points scorer in the NHL. Don, you met Wayne Gretzky.
I don't even know. That's a funny story on how I met him. I never really followed hockey this was back in 1993 or 94. I worked at the big hotel in Boston, one of the bigger ones there. I was working security, and I was posted to the second floor. They always have a security officer on the second floor, and this man walks up to me and started a conversation with me and wanted to know about the the transit system of Boston. And of course, I know everything about the transit system. I always have since I was a little kid. So I'm sitting there talking to him about it. He was asking me about all the different lines and pretty much the subway and places in Boston that you can go and whatnot. I was talking to him about 15 minutes. And he thanks me and leaves, and I'm sitting there, and I'm looking down, and I'm looking at the bell stand, and they're like, just 6 of them all staring at me. I guess I kind of noticed they were staring at me when I was talking to this gentleman there. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, once Wayne goes to leave, these 6 bell stand people just come flying up the escalator right up to me. What'd he say? I said, what? What do you mean, what did he say? What are you talking about, right? Who? You know what I mean? Wayne Gretzky. I said, who's Wayne Gretzky, right? I didn't know who he was. You were talking to him for like 15 minutes. You know, when you ask him, I was talking about the MBTA. And they'll look at me like, what? You know, you didn't ask him about this. I was like, right? I said, I don't know who Wayne Gretzky. I don't follow hockey. I don't know what he's talking about. You know what I mean? And that's probably why I had a good conversation with him, because I wasn't a hockey fan.
Because you didn't know who he was. Yeah.
Right. I knew who he was. I could have a normal conversation. Sometimes fans can be overzealous. They can be a little bit too much sometimes. And I think, and the whole conversation just gets a little bit, weird, I think, sometimes when it comes to dealing with fans. And because that's most hockey. He's a great great hockey player at that time. So he obviously he's loved and cherished by a lot of people. But as far as having a normal, regular conversation, he probably just thinking as soon as he talked to me, he probably think this guy doesn't know who I am. So I could have a conversation, and I helped him out, gave him the information that he needed, and. That's my story about Wayne Gretzky.
2008, October 15th, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closes down 733.08 points, or 7.87. That's 7.87%. The second worst percentage drop in the Dow's history. That was during the financial crisis of 2008. That was a very tough time for the stock market during that time in 2008. Birthdays, of course, we mentioned at the top of the show that today is Robert Trout's birthday. He was born this day in 1909. He's an American journalist, best known for his coverage during World War II. He was the voice that a lot of people heard on the radio in America when it comes to a lot of the big events in World War II. We'll talk a little bit about that later on in the show, but Robert Trout's birthday is today. Also, Barry McGuire, his birthday is today. He was an American singer, songwriter, and guitarist. He is best known, primarily known for his 1965 hit "Eve of Destruction." He later pioneered as a singer and songwriter of the contemporary Christian music genre. Today is his 88th birthday. So, happy birthday to Barry McGuire.
That song, "Eve of Destruction," is a pretty popular song for the 60s. And I've been following a group called Hot Tuna. Actually, they're an older band, too. They, I think, started in 1970. Remnants from Jefferson Airplane. Bass player, Yoma I have a tough time with his last name. Yoma Kakakon. Okay.
Yeah, I think
and
so.
Jack Cassidy's easy.
Yeah, yes.
Well, there's a 1990 album called Paradise Found, which they do a cover of Eve of Destruction. They do a pretty decent job on it. So, I mean, definitely a staple 60s song for sure.
All right, it is 7:22 a.m. We're going to take our first commercial break, and we'll be right back here on Middleboro in Review on WVBF 1530 a.m., 99.7 FM.
I have such a tough time with his last name.
I
Did you
know.
say it?
No, I'm not even going to
No, I
attempt
can't.
to.
No, I can't say
No,
it.
I'm not even going to attempt it.
It's kind of easy if you hear it.
Yeah.
It's just when you put on the spot. You just
No,
throw it every
it's
time.
not even gonna try. No. Good, yeah, awesome, thank you.
Your car. They are a direct repair shop for all major insurance companies. You can reach them at 508-583-1495. They're open Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5, and 8 to 4 on Fridays. Call them today. You will not be disappointed. 508-583-1495.
Your hometown station, WVBF, along with MWL Sports, is proud to present coverage of Thanksgiving Day football once again this year, as the Taunton High School Tigers travel to take on the Milford Scarlet Hawks on Thursday morning, November 23rd. Pre-game coverage gets underway at 9:50 a.m. Don't miss the Turkey Day High School football showdown between Taunton High School and Milford. It's all here at WVBF AM 1530 and 99.7 FM in the Taunton area, or online through the simple radio app or by visiting online radiobox.com.
Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association is an association of combat veterans from all branches of the United States Armed Forces who ride motorcycles as a hobby. Our mission is to support those who have defended our country and freedoms. Our focus is to help veteran care facilities provide a warm meal, clothing, shelter, and guidance, or simply to say thank you and welcome. We have members from nearly all 50 states and living abroad.
Ouch.
Many members continue to
Middleboro
serve
lost
in armed
bad
forces, with several serving
yesterday.
on
They played.
Friday.
We sponsor
They played
and
Norwell.
participate in many motorcycle-related
Where they
charity
play?
events each year.
They played, I believe it's Norwell. Yeah, they played Norwell.
Various veteran care facilities and veteran charities. To learn more about the Combat Veteran
Wow.
Motorcycle Association,
Middleborough's been pretty tough, huh?
Yeah, 4-2.
Does it look like they're gonna get to the Super Bowl?
This is Martha Clopin.
I'm gonna say no after
Each week, we present the latest
that game.
information on health, legal, and lifestyle issues
Yeah, but
that
they've been
affect
winning
you
pretty
and
much,
your
right?
family.
They're 4-2. Well, let's see what they do the rest of the
As we
year.
explore all aspects of the Medicare maze. So join me for a Medicare moment with Martha.
That's-
Saturday mornings
that's
at
a
8,
bad
and
loss,
Sunday
though.
mornings at 9 on AM 1530 and 99.7 FM. WVBF.
That hurts.
Your hometown radio station.
That hurts their chances a little bit. They got some good games coming up. They got two more coming up. Abington and Rockland. So they gotta bounce back. They gotta win both of those. They have to win both of those. Can they make it to the Super Bowl? Yes, but they need to bounce back and win both of those games. Alright, 3, 2, and 1. Alright, we're back as I turn the music down. There we go. Let's do a little bit of a sports segment here. I was looking at what the Middleboro Sachems did on Friday, and a tough game for Middleboro on Friday. They lost to Norwell 34 to 13 on Friday. They were at Norwell. It was a tough game. Norwell, it's the same record going in as Middleboro was. Same record going in for them. So a very tough one for them. Very tough loss for them. They could still make the playoffs, obviously. This loss doesn't completely kill their chances to make the playoffs. But I think they really should win the next two games to really secure that playoff spot. They got a game against Rockland on Friday.
In Rockland, or do you have any clue on that one?
Home game.
Home game?
It looks like a home game.
And then Abington?
Abington.
Probably away, right?
I don't know. It says neutral here. I don't know.
Oh, really?
It says a neutral game. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
I'm not sure what that means.
Sure, you'll find out as the time comes.
Yes, I'm not sure what that means. But they'll have a home game against Rockland. And then, of course, Thanksgiving is Carver. They'll be in Carver this time around. So we'll see what happens there. In the MLB, the things going on there. The playoffs, we're deep in the playoffs. The championship series for both the American League and the National League begins today and tomorrow. First up is the American League. Will have their first two games on Sunday and Monday before the NLCS even gets going. The Rangers versus the Astros in the ALCS. Pretty interesting matchup. Rangers, this is pretty good for them to be this deep in the playoffs. I don't think they've ever won a World Series.
Really?
I don't think so.
Oh, wow.
No, I don't think they've ever won a World Series. I could be wrong. I don't know. Let me take a look real quick. I don't believe they have, but let me take a look real quick here. They have been to. I believe they have been to the World Series before. Two NL pennants in 2010 and 2011, but they have not won a World Series.
Okay.
They have not won a World Series. No World Series yet.
And they're looking tough, huh?
Yes, they've won a ton of West Division titles. A couple of wild card berths. This year was a wild card berth for them. They got in via the wild card. And they could win this series. They really could. They are definitely a team not to be messed with. The Astros will have a hard time getting back to the World Series, I think, in my opinion. The Rangers are very good. This is going to be a very interesting first two games for the Rangers and the Astros. On the NLCS side, the Diamondbacks will take on the Phillies. This is an interesting one. The Diamondbacks, first time since 2007 that they've been this far. They lost to the Colorado Rockies in 2007. A team that eventually went on to get destroyed by the Red Sox. That was 2007. That was I believe that was the year that we swept the Rockies. That year, I believe so. Let me just double check that, make sure that's correct. Yes, we swept the Rockies, but that's pretty good for the Diamondbacks. 2007 is the last time they've really been this far. Probably could have made it to the World Series that year. Definitely, I have a feeling can make it this year. They have a good team. They've been unstoppable so far in the playoffs, for the most part, and the Phillies are going to have a very difficult time with this team. If they want to make it back to the World Series, they're going to have to really play well against the Diamondbacks, because the Diamondbacks are very, very good. Patriots, I'm not going to spend too long on this. I'm not looking forward to this game, Don.
Who are they playing?
The Raiders. I'm just not looking forward to it. In Oakland.
Oakland.
No, sorry, not
Las
Oakland.
Vegas.
Las
right?
Vegas,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, well,
Why do I still think they're in Oakland?
Because they've been in the Raiders.
Yes, Las Vegas. I'm not looking forward to this game. I'm not going to make a prediction on this game. It's not going to be a positive prediction.
I was talking to somebody.
In my opinion.
I was talking to a fellow worker yesterday, and I asked them, "You gonna watch the game? You gonna try to watch?" And they said, "Well, I'll give them half, and then if doesn't look good, I'm going to do something else.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe Bill Belichick can turn things around. I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, last
but-
week was a disaster.
Boy, 2 disasters in a row, and the worst loss under the Belichick, the worst home loss under the Belichick era is not.
It was last week at home, of all places.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
And who were they playing? Philadelphia last year? Was it? Who did
Last week they were playing the Saints.
The Saints, and they're not really a super.
They're not really that great.
Right.
They're okay, but the Patriots should have been able to beat the Saints, and they didn't. Which is a very big red flag.
I mean, like, if the Patriots lost to the Saints on a normal score, but a blowout?
Yes.
And then what was it, 3-0 blowout score the week before with the.
Yeah, and this is the same deal with the Raiders. The Raiders are not that good. They're 2-3. They're okay, but they're not that good. This is a team that we should be able to beat. So if we lose today, it's over.
In your opinion, with all the games that the Patriots lost, how they have no chance? I mean, we're only in October, so do they have no chance of winning? They got to start winning games.
If they lose today, it's done. If they lose today, I think they are out of the playoffs.
Okay.
I really do. Because this is one of the last layup easy kind of games. This is really, I wouldn't call this a layup kind of game at all. This is going to be a tough one. I really am not positive about this game at all.
If anybody has any input,
yeah. If anyone has any input about this game, what are your thoughts about it? What do you think will happen today?
Give us a number, Joey.
Give us a call. 508-822-1106 is the number. 508-822-1106 is the number.
I do have a friend listening who's a big football fan, but I don't know if he wants to call in. He's kind of shy. I'm just not looking forward to. Well, keep an eye on the phone lines because we might get a call.
I'm just not looking forward to the Patriots versus the Raiders today.
Yeah, you know what? We'll just see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
That's exactly. A West Coast game, so that's slated for
4:25. Yeah, 4:25 start. A game that I'm sure the players of both of these teams looking forward to. Getting underway in less than 2 hours from now is the Ravens versus the Titans. And Don, you know why? It's getting underway at 9:30 because they're in Britain.
Oh, so how many times do they play in Britain?
So this is going to be game number 3 in Britain.
Okay.
And then in a couple of weeks there will be 2 games in Germany.
Wow.
Yeah, there'll be 2 games in Germany.
So so NFL's getting traction over in Europe.
Yes, they are. They actually used to have a league in Europe.
Yeah.
NFL Europa.
NFL. Because they want to be part of the big teams.
NFL Europe. They had a league. The NFL did. This was founded in 1989, and then ceased operations in 2007. So around for almost 20 years. They were based. Most of these teams were based in Germany, England. They had a couple of other teams elsewhere, but pretty big deal during that time. Pretty big deal for that league, the NFL, to have something like this. And maybe this is kind of the precursor to maybe bringing something like that back. I'd love to see them bring something like that back, but I don't know how feasible that is nowadays. I'm sure the NFL can do it. I'm sure they have enough money to do that. I'm not sure if they have any interest in doing that. But I think this is what they're doing, is they're having these games there in Britain, in Germany, to kind of, I think they're trying to gauge that interest of having football in Europe and seeing what they could do with that. There's been a lot of rumors over the years with the Jacksonville Jaguars and them possibly moving to London. That's been rumors for several years. That's not going to happen, I don't think. Not right now, at least. They have a pretty strong agreement, I think, right now with the city of Jacksonville and their...
Well, that'd be tough for Jacksonville to lose an NFL team. It really
would
be. I mean, you know, I don't know. I mean, I think what they're trying to do is build a foundation of new teams.
They're trying to build a foundation of fans.
Instead of moving teams around to Europe, they probably want to build something in Europe.
They do, yeah. I think that's what they're going to try to do.
I mean, because Oakland lost the Raiders, and they're now in Las Vegas. So, I mean, it seems like they're doing that. They're pulling them out of the city, and then it's just... I mean, growing up, the Oakland Raiders, I mean, that iconic football helmet, you know?
Yep.
There's just always something you remember as a kid.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised hearing about them reviving NFL Europe within the next 10 years or so.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
I mean, soccer's bigger.
Soccer's huge in Europe,
I mean,
so
we'll
see.
We'll see. With soccer.
Right now, they're trying to gauge the interest in this.
Right.
All right, other games in the NFL today. Let's see. We talked about Ravens and Titans. That's in Britain today. Dolphins versus Panthers. Colts versus Jaguars. Who the Patriots will face. The Colts will be facing the Colts in a couple of weeks in Germany. That is one of
playing in Germany.
One of our games. Wow. One of our games will be in Germany against the Colts.
I wonder how the local economies feel about that, though.
Oh, there's a lot of excitement.
No, I know.
From what I've been hearing,
I understand that, but you build a stadium,
yes,
in a community, and that community relies on the 8 or 9 home games they have, or whatever, for their economy, for their livelihood, for the hotels, for the restaurants. So now you start pulling teams out, and they're not playing at these local stadiums here in the United States. I wonder, when these cities and towns signed up for a stadium, they signed up for 8 or 9 games we're going to have here. We can count on revenue from tax sales and hotels and restaurants and vending and whatever. But now, by going to Germany, someone's getting shorted. Understand what I'm talking about?
Yes. Yeah.
So, I mean, that again, they start pulling out, and it's like if Foxborough signed up for having a stadium, there's a certain amount of money that's related with a game, the town or whatnot, but they're not seeing it. They're not seeing the tax revenues. They're not seeing the business. Not seeing this and that. They're going over to Europe, which I have a problem with that. They don't want to do it that way, but it seems like it's like I had a friend of mine who had a little kiosk at a mall in Boston. Yeah. And he sold a certain item. Particular item he sold. All right? And he said, look, is anybody else going to sell this item in this mall? They're like, oh, no, of course not. No way. All right? 3 years later, they open a big store, almost opens across the way from him, which sells that. So, in a way, it's just like, you told me that, if I signed up and I signed up a contract with you for a year, that I wouldn't have any competition, that I'd sell this continuous product. But I think and then you go and open up a store, they're paying more money because they're a storefront. So, it's just like, I don't know if I'm digging it down a wrong hole, I'm going in a rabbit hole I shouldn't, but that's what it seems like to me. I mean, somebody's losing out of something they thought they were going to get. Yeah. The other bright idea is, let's go to Germany. Next week's going to be Spain. Next going to be Morocco. It's going to be wherever, Israel.
It will probably be Spain next. It'll probably be Spain next. The NFL Europe had a team in Spain.
Do they have the...
They play NFL have played in Mexico.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, to take away from something that was relied upon for a local economies, it's tough.
Yeah.
Just to say, oh, by the way, we're not playing game 5 or week 5 in your town because we're going to Germany.
Yeah.
So anybody who based their livelihood around those games is out.
Well, you know what, a lot of these stadiums, they schedule things for that week that
Yeah, you might be right.
fill that in.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. A concert or something.
Yeah.
Right. As long as that's happening, which I hope it is, for people who rely on that, but not just having tumbleweeds thrown around on the day you thought you were gonna have a game.
Hey, any of these teams that are bringing in that are going to Europe, just bring in Taylor Swift to play at their stadiums, and they'll make all that money back in 10 minutes. Taylor Swift is making a lot of money with her concert tours.
Good for her.
And she,
Good for her.
Good for her.
Good for her.
For sure.
And I think you're the one who told me that.
I think
she re-released all her earlier stuff because
she has been, yes,
because of the contracts obligations she had to as her old management.
Yeah.
We're getting most of the royalties or whatever.
Yeah.
So she reissued everything.
Yes.
Re-recorded them and whatever.
Yeah. So again, I think some of these teams, just call on Taylor Swift, have her do a concert at your stadium if your team is going to Europe.
No, you know what? I'm glad you said that because I didn't think of that. I mean, they could just put a concert in there and everyone will be happy. But as long as that's the case, as long as they fill in the gap.
Exactly.
Because you'd hate to sign something and think you got 8 weeks of something, and it's, oh, by the way, we're going to, so you get nothing.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
I mean, whatever.
All right. So Sunday Night Football, Giants versus Bills. And
The Bills looking good this year?
the Bills are looking kind of this year. Not good. And they've been really hyping this game.
I had a friend of mine who used to always go to Buffalo.
Yeah?
To see, because when they usually play in November.
Yeah.
Up in Buffalo, the
Yes.
Patriots.
November, yeah.
Yeah, so they used to always take the truck out there.
And they've been really hyping this game, the Giants versus the Bills, with Billy Joel music on the ads. Sunday
You
Night
mean New
Football
Jersey
ads.
versus New York?
Yeah, they've been really hyping that up. And then Monday Night Football is Cowboys versus Chargers. Pretty good stuff. All right, so that's your sports. 7:45. Before we take a commercial break, there's a couple of events I want to mention real fast. Some things that are going on this week. Special town meeting is tomorrow. Again, 7 p.m. tomorrow at MHS. There'll be, I believe, 14 or 15 articles.
Where, at the high school?
At the high school, yes, at MHS. 7 p.m. tomorrow night. A special town meeting. I believe there will be 14 or 15 special town meeting articles that they'll be voting on. It's pretty important stuff. I mentioned, I talked a little bit about that on Thursday. So that's what's going on tomorrow. Today, later on this afternoon, Kim Moberg with Heather Swanson will be performing at the library. That starts at 2 p.m. this afternoon. Music That Moves concert series. Series of Sunday concerts at the library starts today. Let's see, anything else going on? Of course, Crantoberfest was yesterday as well. And that was a big event that we've been talking about for several weeks. A lot going on. Quick thing on the blood drives real quick. There are two to talk about. Tuesday, October 24th at Reed Community Center, 33A Summer Street, Kingston, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And Friday, October 27th at the Wareham Council on Aging, 48 Marion Road at Wareham, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. for that blood drive. So that is everything there I wanted to mention. When we come back, we'll have a couple of minutes to talk about a couple of more events. that are going on. And then we're going to finish the show today by talking a little bit about Robert Trout. So we'll be right back here on Middleboro Review on 1530 AM, 99.7 FM.
So you come out of the break, you can mention the Ashmont being down real quick.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, that. Ashmont, I guess even the Mattapan high speed. Have you ever done that Mattapan high speed trolley?
No, I haven't.
The old PCCs?
No.
We should take a day and ride the T, because I want to show you that before they take them out of service. Those PCCs, the 1940 street cars.
Yeah.
I was talking to Danny about those, and he wasn't too impressed. He says, "Well, they really don't get too traction for It's like, what are you talking about? They're 1940.
They're 1940s. They're very old.
1940s on, in revenue service on a major. What else?
They're old.
Well, the problem with that is the reason they can't put regular green line trolleys in.
Yeah.
Is because there's a couple bridges that are too narrow, and they won't fit.
Oh.
At this time,
Yeah.
we serve approximately 500 families in our service area, and many of them come to us for various types of aid.
But they go to the
utilities and rent assistance. Agency referrals.
see show trolley museum. They got pots. The T does.
For more information, go to SVDB Middleboro.org. May the good Lord bless you and keep you safe.
Here's my Aunt Peggy's birthday. 83 today.
Oh, wow. Yeah. All right.
Can I wish her a happy birthday?
What?
Can I wish her a happy birthday?
Absolutely, you can. 3, 2. Excuse me. 3, 2, 1. And 0. All right, we're back here. As I didn't turn the music down that time, but that's all right. Whatever. Moving on. Don.
Yes.
You wanted to wish someone a happy birthday.
Oh yeah, I want to wish my Aunt Peggy a happy birthday. Her 83rd birthday today. She's the last surviving member of my mother's side on her family, and my mother passed away 3 years ago yesterday. So I mean that wasn't really a good 80th birthday for my Aunt Peg. When I heard about her sister Mary, my mom dying. But it's nice because when I look at the pictures, I think of her. Looks like her. So I mean, all the best to my Aunt Peg. 83, and she's a wonderful woman, beautiful soul, and I love her so much. And I guess that's what the benefits of getting up at 7 in the morning and hanging out here at the radio station. I can wish my aunt happy birthday. Happy birthday, Aunt Peg.
Okay. The Taunton Lodge of Elks 150 is honoring all those who served and currently serve. Veterans and currently enlisted military members are invited to join the Elks for lunch every third Wednesday of each month at noon at the Elks Lodge in the Industrial Park, 775 John Quincy Adams Road in Taunton. The next lunch is Wednesday, October the 18th, so this Wednesday. Lunch is provided free of charge and no reservations are needed. For more information, you can call 508-824-1500. Again, that's 508-824-1500, or you can email meal@tauntonelks.org. Again, that is meal@tauntonelks.org. The annual Oak Point Fall / Holiday Craft Show is happening Saturday, November 4th, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Oak Point Clubhouse in Middleboro. It's the next big event going on at Oak Point. They had their scholarship yard sale last Saturday. I believe it was the 7th. Last Saturday, October 7th. They had that event. Now they're going to have this big event coming up on November 4th. The big annual event will include over 40 tables of handmade items such as jewelry, quilted items, and holiday decorations. The show features items from residents, clubs, and organizations in the Oak Point community. Admission is free, and for more information, you can contact Oak Point Social Director Mary Beth McKay at 508-947-5406. Again, that's 508-947-5406. Or you can email mckay@hometownamerika.net. And finally, in Middleboro, we got the continuation of the Theater One productions. They are doing a couple of new stage readings this fall. The third out of the four that they'll be doing will take place on Sunday, Sunday, November 14th. Sunday, November 19th. The Fall and Rise of Dynamite. Will a duck boat tour guide dreams of stand-up come true by Margie Semiloff, directed by Linda Merritt at the Mitchell Memorial Club. And the next one after that, Sunday, December 17th, Shangri-La Paradise Maybe, written by Nancy Temple, directed by Peg Holzmer at the Mitchell Memorial Club. All readings will start at 2 p.m. and be followed by a Q&A between the playwright and the audience. All tickets are $10. Cash only, no reservations, please. They also will collect food donations for the Sacred Heart Food Pantry at all performances. So go out and support Theater One Productions. Go support the playwrights and the actors who will be in these plays. And also support Sacred Heart Food Pantry as well.
Something I want to add to for the next 2 weeks, I think starting last Friday, is they're shutting down the Ashmont-Mattapan line, the red line, rapid transit to Ashmont from JFK, UMass to Ashmont, and then the high-speed trolley line from from Ashmont to Mattapan. Doesn't look like they have shuttle buses, which I'm surprised. I'm looking at their website here, and I guess what you can do, if you need to access, if you get off at Andrew, you can take the 18 bus, which I think parallels Dot Ave, which isn't too far from Stabbin Hill, Fields Corner, Shawmut, and looks like they will make stops there, and then the Fairmont line, Talbot Street, you can take the 22 to Ashmont, and then if you want to go to Mattapan, you can take the 24 bus to Mattapan. But it doesn't look like they provided shuttle buses here that I could tell. I'm reading the alerts here, and I don't see it. So, which I'm very surprised that they're not having shuttle buses for that line. I don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm looking and I don't see it, which I'm really surprised at. Why wouldn't they have shuttle buses? Why wouldn't they just keep? Now you gotta get off of that. I don't know. People take the train or don't take the bus. Don't know the bus. So just shut it down for 2 weeks, and then it can be slow as forever, as much as they want.
The mind of the MBTA is not easily deciphered.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm looking at their website. It doesn't say anything about shuttle buses. But whatever.
The mind of the MBTA is not easily deciphered. That's all we'll say about that.
Oh, by the way,
you can't figure it out.
No, well, whatever. But they'll still have the slow zones.
Yeah. All right. We got a little less than 4 minutes here. I'm going to end today's show talking about Robert Trout. As I mentioned beginning of the show, today is his birthday. He was born on October 15th, 1909. Passed away November 14th, 2000 at the age of 91. He was born in Wake County, North Carolina. Born Robert Albert Blondhelm. American Broadcast News reporter. He worked on radio before and during World War II for CBS News. He was regarded by some as the Iron Man of radio for his ability to ad-lib while on the air, as well as for his stamina, composure, and elocution. He was on the air for many, many hours during D-Day. Many, many hours. And late into the night. That that news first broke at like midnight, and he was on the air.
How can you sleep?
Yeah.
During something like that,
And of course, the first communique came out at 3 a.m., something like that. His post-war career, too, is very interesting. Beginning on April 1st, 1946, he anchored a daily 15-minute CBS radio newscast, The News Till Now. His year-and-a-half tenure on the program ended in September of 1947. Other things that he did, Trout returned to CBS in 1952. He doubled as a network correspondent and a main anchor for the evening news at CBS, New York City television flagship WCBS TV until 1965, June 17th, 1965. Other things that he did, he received a Peabody Award in 1979 for his distinguished broadcasting career. Trout remained at CBS through the early 70s. He later worked at ABC, serving mostly as a correspondent based in Madrid, where he lived most of his last 2 decades of life. On the day of President John F. Kennedy's assassination, Trout took to the streets of Manhattan and spoke on camera with New Yorkers and tourists seeking comments and reactions to the tragic events. Other things that he did as well. Near the end of his life, he broadcast commentaries and essays for the program, All Things Considered, on National Public Radio. Some of them were reminiscence of the 20th century events that he covered, accompanied by recordings. Trout also continued to attend political conventions, earning him the distinction of having interviewed every U.S. president from FDR to Bill Clinton.
Wow.
Yeah. He joined his old colleague Roger Mudd for a History Channel look at the quadrennial gatherings. He did that in 2000.
Yeah, Roger Mudd is a icon too in the broadcasting industry, and my favorite, one of my favorite, obviously a lot of people's favorites, is Walter Cronkite.
Yes.
And Paul Harvey.
Yeah. So Robert Trout, his birthday is today. Just an iconic voice in radio.
I remember you've been listening the last 6 months or so. You've been listening to a lot of that.
I've been listening to the D-Day, first 24 hours of D-Day radio coverage, right. And he's on a lot of that, and it's just a fantastic listen.
As a broadcaster yourself, and up and coming, I've been doing this for 4 years, probably doing it a long time. Yeah. What do you see as far, what you hear? That's pretty much that you can learn from his style of broadcast.
Oh, well, his composure, of course. His composure when talking about these big events is really, really good.
His delivery package?
His delivery, his composure. The information he gives out is very thorough.
Yeah. It's funny, too. And I'm not sure if this is... it might be true, but the Hindenburg... The broadcaster who witnessed it was talking about it, was crying.
Yeah.
And I heard he got fired.
Yeah.
Because they said you can't. But I mean, how can you not? How could you not?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, how? Same with a WBZ anchor couldn't. This was a few years ago when one of the reporters passed away on something. And the morning anchor woman, she just couldn't read it. She's like, I can't read this. And then somebody else had to come in and do the bad news. But it was people are human.
Yes.
And you know what I'm saying? So to hear about him getting fired was, when I was told that and I read it, I was kind of heartbroken. Because
it was very tough.
It is tough. I mean, it's hard, especially when it comes to witnessing something bad. Or having a good friend you've worked with for years and years just suddenly pass away. It's heartbreaking.
All right, we got to go. Coming up next is Bread of Life with Pastor Ortez Vancross. We'll be back next week with another edition of Middleboro in review. Have a great rest of your Sunday, everybody.
Vandross. Shit, Vandross.
Ah,
You've been saying Vancross for like 4 years.
I know.
Think of Luther Vandross. Like you said, think of Luther Vandross.
I'll get it right one of these days. All right, bye-bye, everybody.